Welcome again to Wish It Was Homestead. I was talking to one of our corporate office people out in California, and we're talking as the conversation usually goes, it gets towards gardening. And she said, well, why don't you tell us about seed companies? And I said, I don't really want to do that. I don't want to seem like I'm recommending somebody. But the more I thought about it, this channel is supposed to be educational. And I've already done the research. Why not make it easier on you guys on finding seeds? This video will be on seeds where I buy them, what I buy, how I keep track of them, things like that, and some of the stuff I use. I've never bought from this company, but they're supposed to be good. It's Territorial Seed Company. They have a really nice catalog, informative. Gives you the important stuff. Pricing, this catalog is a couple years old already, but it gives you a good description. And they have quite a bit of seed. They tell you the days to harvest, 70 to 75 days, which will become important shortly, and you'll see why. Territorial. Johnny's has always been good. Their catalog is above and beyond. Great catalog, a lot of information, a lot of pictures for you so you can see what it's supposed to look like. Not only do they have the seeds, they have flowers. I buy flowers from them. They have different tools, Jang seeders, which is supposed to be good. I have an easy seeder. Different kinds of tools they sell. Wheel hoes, double wheel hoe. We're a no-till, so I pretty much don't use that. But they are a great resource. Their shipping is good. Vermont Bead Seed Company, that's where I get the Blauhide purple beans. They're another good one I like. Their catalog is also, these catalogs are pretty good. Most of them. I would say Johnny's is probably the best, but these are pretty good. And they send them to you free. Back in the day, when I started gardening, you used to get your catalogs there, Organic Gardening Magazine, a few of the others. There'd be cards in there you filled out, you mailed them back to the seed companies. They'd send you a catalog and you would order from the catalog. And nowadays, I pretty much do everything online. Jung Seeds and Plants, I've never ordered from them. They do have a pretty nice catalog too. A lot of variety. This one here I grabbed by mistake. This is for a greenhouse. I'm going to try and get the NRCS grant for a greenhouse. I think they give you up to $8,000 in a grant. Wouldn't mind that. Anyway, that's the seeds. Now, the companies that I use most, the company I use most is going to be Burpees, and that's more because of tradition. I've always ordered from them in the past through their catalogs. M.I. Gardner is a new one for me. $2 a package. Floridate is the tomato I actually wanted from them. I think I bought 2 of these because this is a tomato, 25 seeds for $2. Not bad. This is a tomato developed in 1976 in Miami by the Florida Department of Agriculture, UF, University of Florida, IFAS program. Does well in high heat. I think I got like 2 or 3 of those. Keystone, this is a resistant pepper. Just different market more. That's a cucumber recommended for Florida. I'm going to try celery the first time this year. Seed count, 700, $2. You can't beat that. Cauliflower. These I won't start just yet. Carrots we can start now. Different Copenhagen's supposed to be recommended. Anyway, and my gardener just came in a brown bag, brown envelope. He's got a YouTube channel, M.I. Gardener. Very informative, very good. Another company I buy from is Ferry Morse. These are seeds I'd get at Lowe's, Home Depot, Walmart, wherever. They're not bad. They're expensive when you buy it this way in the store. That non-GMO, truth of the matter is that's a marketing gimmick. You and I can't buy genetically modified seed. Number one, it's very expensive. You got to sign contracts. That's mostly going to be your corn, soybean, a few others that are modified, your high fructose corn syrup and stuff like that. Here's a new one. This is owned by Kevin of Epic Gardening or Epic Homestead. Botanical Interests. Unboxing for you here. I don't even know what I ordered from him. Nice box, solid box. They give you a thank you package of mesclun lettuce. Seed starting guide. These are just a bunch of different seeds I've ordered from them. Pricing's not bad. I guess I bought quite a bit of seed. Holy cow. More cauliflower, leeks, peppers, beets. Two different kinds of beets. I like the little pictures on them. They have all this custom done there. I bought this. It was Memorial Day sale. Yeah, and I waited till now to open it up. Just to do an unboxing for you. Informative, that's for sure. Even the back of the package is really informative. I mean, there's a lot of information here just on the back. When to sow it, different information here. Maturity 65 days. So I recommend Botanical Interest. We'll see how well the seeds do, what our germination rates are. Other things I use to help me in the garden for seed starting. I figured out how to, there it is. I buy these 500 at a time, 1,000 at a time. These are just, 5 different colors. I've got another 500 that are white. I'm going to get better at marking my seeds. Amazon special. A couple of things that I use. Let me grab over here. To keep my seeds in, I use two of these ammo boxes from Harbor Freight. These fit the package. It's really nice. $3 on sale. You can't beat that with a stick. What I did, I work in the printing industry, so I have chipboard and I printed these labels. These are all my warm season crops. And they fit in there pretty nice, different beans, whole beans. Got your cucumbers, pickles. I separate them pickling, slicers. I have eggplant, there's only one. Peppers, hot and sweet. Tomatoes, I do a little different. Indeterminate. An indeterminate tomato is just going to keep growing and growing and growing. The black cherry that I grew, that thing was like 7 feet tall. The determinate tomatoes will they're going to grow to a certain height, usually about 4 or 5 feet. They're going to put all their tomatoes on at once. They're going to ripen pretty much all at once. The advantage to that is if you're canning, works out great because you get, you can do 8, 9, 10 quarts of tomato, can them all in one shot. Pear tomatoes I like. There's only one I probably wouldn't do again, and that is yellow pear. Again, a mixture of Ferry Morse. Some seeds are organic, some are not. Like I said, Burpee is my go-to. Only from tradition. It was, back in the day, it was Burpee and Parks. They were the two most common catalogs. I haven't ordered from Parks in a long time. This is handy. This seeder here, especially for the small seeds like lettuce, spinach, you can just tap out one seed at a time. Really handy. That's my warm season crops. This box, yeah, you can tell I got all the wish it was homestead stuff on this one. This one here is mostly my cool season. Beets, different beets. Broccoli, Arcadia is a great broccoli. Got this from David Seeds. I don't think it's available anymore though. I bought, 4 or 5 packages. Brussels sprouts, I only have like one of those. Different cabbages. Cabbage, we got an 8-pounder once last year. Different carrots. Cedar for the carrots, rainbow mix. Everything in the rainbow mix is in this cedar. Really handy. Corn, there's with the open pack. Corn, that's a warm season, shouldn't be in here, but it is. Different lettuces, which I think I've got more. Again, Liberty Garden. Pages Seeds. I don't even know where that came from. Somebody must give it to me. Bunch of Ferry Morse. Like I said, this just costs a little bit more per seed. Doing it through them. They're probably, I guess they're my second largest supplier. There's some really old seed in here too. Burpee grasses, Ferry. Stuff from cilantro, parsley. This basil, the 2 basils I have in here, sweet and purple, really did wonderful this year. Onion, I'll try seed this year. That's about it. Sunflowers, of course, okra, more okra. That's how I keep my seed, these things. They've got a gasket right here. Keeps it pretty airtight. Keeps it moisture out for the most part, unless you bring it outside. But that works out really well for me. Now, a couple of more resources I use to keep track of the seeds, because I have a lot. I did this in Excel. The seed name, the variety, days to harvest, that's important. What season it is, well, that's in the wrong spot. The year that the seed is grown for, when I should be planting them, and pretty much how many I have on hand. The tomatoes I have is determinate or indeterminate, and whether I want to reorder. I haven't gotten to that part yet. I just reorder as I feel like it. Now I have, in an Excel, you can group these. I like doing it by the variety. Bush beans, pole beans, beets. Of course, I have to add all that other seed that I just got in. Different herbs, kale, lettuces. Go back, see. That's the whole thing. It's just a simple Excel file, and it allows you to sort mostly by this and this secondary. The days to harvest are going to be important, especially if you're going to do corn. Something like corn, if you want to put 2 different varieties, if you look at the days to harvest, both of these, the Alini Extra Sweet and the Silver Queen, are 85 days. If I want to plant both of these, well, I have to stagger my start date. We just put down Alini Extra Sweet. That's the only one I'm going to put down this season. That'll go for 200 seeds we put down yesterday. So I'm not going to do the Silver Queen. I still have a bunch of that in the freezer. Beans, again, beans I don't worry about so much to the days to harvest, only if I'm worried about when I'm going to plant them, when I'm going to start them, to my first frost date. That's where this will come into effect. Now's the time to start planting beans. 54 days, let's say 60 days, August, September, October. Our frost won't be until December, so we're good on that. Little cat in the way here now. It is misty. That's why that's important. If you want to plant the corn, again, different harvest dates. I'm looking at another one I may do for field corn to feed the chickens. Remember, if they cross-pollinate on cucumbers or stuff like that, it'll affect the seed. It won't affect the fruit that you get this time around. On the corn, you're eating the seed, so it can affect the flavor. That's one thing I use there. To keep track of the seeds in the seed trays, I use 2-inch soil blocks. I get 50 per. I made up a chart with that I can just write what I'm planting in. But I'm going to use these instead to mark the rows. I don't really need a paper chart for that. These will work. I use a lot of seed blocks. The other thing I'm going to start using is solo cups for up potting those. And then I could write right on the solo container. This is something from the University of Florida, UFIFAS. You can go to your ag department, and they probably have a chart similar to this. But this tells you the crop. Let's take the beans. Tells you now we have north, central, and south. I'm in central Florida. So I can plant February through April and August and September. And it tells you yield per 10 foot generally, plants per 10 square feet, days to harvest, spacing, plants in rows, the seed depth. Transplantability will be on the other side. It's down here. Tells you how easy they are to transplant. Now, number 3 usually means it's hard to transplant, but easily survives transplanting with care. Only plant seeds or containerized transplants. I've had really good luck with the corn and with the beans. This will be the second season that I'm doing both. Corn here. Sweet corn, they say it's a 3, which is difficult, but that's my best results. Had really great germination, really happy with it. If you're not in Florida, if you're listening to me elsewhere, look up your Department of Agriculture. They should have information like this for your area. Really helpful. Tells you sweet potatoes. It's got a lot of information on it. Department of Agriculture even has a section, I don't have it here, for Florida, recommended varieties, like the Floridade. It told me about that. It told me the corn was Silver Queen, Leany Extra Sweet, and there was a couple of other varieties on different veggies. Gee, go get me that book, Edible Landscaping by Tom McCubbin. It's under the... I got a book I want to show you. I don't even know if it's still in print. And this is so useful information. I highly recommend it. This book here, I bought years ago. Like I said, I'm not even sure it's in print anymore. Tom McCubbin worked for the Ag Office in Orlando, the Edible Landscape. This book is so full of information. It's unbelievable. I got it. Go in my room, get me the book Square Foot Gardening by Mel Bartholomew. I mean, look at this. You got your Chinese cabbage, germination, days to harvest, spacing, loaded with information, and harvest time here. It's great in areas that you could plant in, the time of year to plant. And on the back of this page, even more information. Collards, I don't plant collards. Cucumbers. You know, and you look here, he's got it. We're central, February and March, August and September. Down south, you can plant almost the entire year. Okay. Now, we plant here in rows. Let's see, when the book was $17 back in the day. See if I find the copyright date on it. $19.89. If you could find this book and you're in Florida, highly recommended. It's a great book full of information. We plant in rows. We do a no-till garden. I've showed you can do raised beds. I've showed you pots. There's also something called square foot gardening. The guy who kind of came up with it, I believe, his name is Mel Bartholomew. He has a book called Square Foot Gardening, another recommended book. Now, back to these for a sec. These plant labels, I write on them with this. It's about the best thing. Garden marker, again, Amazon. I don't know what I paid for these. I got them a couple years ago, but these things will actually write on there and it will stick unlike a Sharpie. Couple more seed companies that I use that I've heard about, kind of like Baker Seed. They're really good. A lot of people talk about them. You have MI Gardener, you have Botanical Interest, and there's a few more out there, but these are the ones that I use that I know about. There's also one called Totally Tomatoes. I'm cheap. I just think they're a little expensive for seed. I mean, I compare with Burpee, I compare my cost per seed. You know, and if it's a variety, I look where I can get the variety I want the cheapest, and that's where I buy it from. Of course, you're going to pay shipping. Some places don't have shipping. Anyway, it's go time here in Central Florida. We put corn down yesterday, this weekend, or maybe Saturday or not before. We're going to start in the mini soil blocks. We're going to start tomatoes, peppers, eggplant, okra, pretty much all the warm cucumbers. We're going to start all the warm season crops. This time I'm going to grow enough plants that I can actually start selling some of the plants. You have any interest, let me know. See what we can do for you. I'm going to plant the ones that I like to eat, like to grow, and the ones that I can sell, farmers markets and whatnot. We're going to try doing that a little bit. Should help us hopefully get into that grant a little better. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was informative for you. Like, share, and subscribe. Comment if you want. It'll be much appreciated. Especially subscribe. Anyway, God bless and thank you much. Bye-bye.